Hello and welcome to Life Under Lockdown. Today we are in the Eternal City in Rome with Father John Musolo, Ochola, who I've known very well since his frequent visits to Scotland over the summers. Father John, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Patrick. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Again, this is the 7th week of our lockdown. How is the situation for you in Rome?
Well, lucky for you, it's the second week. This is our sixth week of lockdown. I've not been outside in this in this 6 weeks. All we do here is just to go maybe to the terrazzo on the upstairs and just walk around. But really, streets here are all empty. It's like a ghost town, so to speak.
Mm.
So yeah, we are just indoors. We are almost 50 of us just indoors here. But thank God, none of us, there are no issues of sickness here. Thank God for that, really.
Of course, you are a priest from Kenya. Something which
Yes.
has concerned me recently, obviously, is Europe's in the midst of this crisis, but yet it hasn't really taken fully hold in Africa yet. What is the situation in Kenya?
Well, yes and no. It has taken hold in the sense that we have victims, we have people who are already suffering, we have a few deaths there. In Kenya, as of yesterday, we had around 308 cases. But also it's odd to the fact that the testing is not on grand scale. But at the same time, by yesterday we had 14 deaths. 14 deaths, but the country is on lockdown also. It's not as developed as here in the sense that the social safety nets are not really there, so people are really struggling in the midst of the lockdown.
Yeah.
So the cases are there, not as many as here, but they are there. Yeah.
And do you think the situation there, if it becomes worse, is more critical in those countries? Because obviously, I mean, I don't know the situation with the Kenyan healthcare, but is there robust measures in place for that situation that's evolving?
I think if the situation becomes worse, it will be critical for us in Kenya because the healthcare system is not as developed as maybe in Europe here. Unfortunately, most of our leaders, most of our politicians have always come to Europe for their personal medication before, and in the process neglected the local infrastructure. And so the infrastructure may not be able to really to take care of the victims on a grand scale. Now they're scrambling to put things in place, but it's maybe a little bit too late. But we just pray and hope that it will not come to this level that we are having here in Europe.
Yeah, we pray that's definitely. You mentioned the word hope. Do you sense in Italy just now there is more hope than there was about a month ago when it was really, really bad?
Yes, there's more hope here in Italy now than there was, because yesterday we got a letter. Each one of us got a letter that hopefully by 4th of May, they will be opening up, will begin maybe to go out a bit and to say public masses. So there is that glimmer of hope, 4th of May. So we are holding our breaths like this.
And how has it affected you as a priest? Has your life changed substantially for the last 6 weeks?
It has, as a priest, it has affected me positively and negatively. Let me begin with the positives. Positively, this has been like a 6 week of retreat, more prayer, because first of all, I finished my studies, so I'm not studying. I read for knowledge sake, but I'm not studying. I was supposed to be going home. So this has been a moment for me for prayer, really. Praying for myself, yes, but also praying for those who are battling this virus, the health workers, the sick, and also praying for the dead. So it has been a moment of reflection of how life is really transient, how things can change within a second. And negatively, it has, especially looking at how we have celebrated Easter here. Easter being the apex of our salvation mystery. We have celebrated in a way that is so mute, in so low key. So as a priest, you said that's the joy of a priest, celebrating these mysteries with the people and in a very exuberant manner. This Easter has been very different. One moment that was very really touched me is when we saw on the screens the Pope walk in St. Peter's Square alone.
Yeah.
I mean, that was very touching. It spoke volumes in many senses, but very touching. To me as a priest, I'm thinking, now that's our shepherd, so to speak, alone. I wish we were able to be there with him, but we were not able to be here. Even as we are close to him in prayer, but we were not able to be there with him personally, even though we are just 10 minutes away from St. Peter's Square. So in terms of liturgy as a priest, just the fact that we miss the people that is a low moment for us as a priest. But it has offered us an opportunity, personally offered me an opportunity to look what drives me, what's the most important thing. I think COVID-19, if anything, it has taught us is, what is the most important thing? Am I still motivated to pray, for example, without the people? Am I still motivated to celebrate Mass without the people? Am I still motivated to live, to hope, even when what we read mostly, what we watch in the media mostly is bleak and really sad news? Am I really still motivated? So I don't know if I've answered your question, John.
You have. You more or less answered that absolutely fantastically. You've actually led us into sort of more, even fellow priests, of your brother priests who are watching this or may come across this video. You've almost led them in a sort of mini retreat. How are they thinking about it? How are they reflecting on it? How are they developing in their spiritual life as well? Because a lot of the time, we look to the priest, we put the priest on a pedestal as being the ideal for us, but again, they're humans as well, and they do have their trials and temptations during this difficult time. So it's been very interesting. I think one of the differences between here in Scotland just now and Italy is I think you still in the Diocese of Rome have access to churches for prayer.
Yes. Like, thank God, we live in a collegio here, and as I said at the start, we are around 50 of us. So we have that community of 50 priests and 2 deacons. So somehow we have, a community to gather around, to pray together, to eat together. I'm sure in parishes where there is 1 priest or 2 priests, the life may be a bit different and maybe more difficult. But it's still the same. When we have lay people amongst us, it makes a lot of difference. Now, many times as a priest, we may not have been cognizant of that fact, but now that they are not there, now that lay people do not join us for prayers and for masses, we're able actually to realize, wow, there is some value of the laity joining us in the prayers. There are things, maybe the contribution, even that's the presence alone, that makes this celebration so live. I'm not saying that we have taken it for granted that, oh, well, they're just coming. But now that they're missing it, who will do this? Who was supposed to be this? Who was supposed to maybe to sing? Who was supposed to play the organ? Who was supposed to,
Do you think a lot of commentators online have different views on how the church will come out of this? Do you share my view? I view personally that the church will be healthier after this.
I think the church will be healthier. In Italy here, everybody says Sono Cattolico, Sono Cattolico, Sono Cattolico. I'm a Catholic, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Catholic, even when they don't go to church. Now that the churches are closed, you cannot imagine the number of prayer requests people are asking. Please pray for me. I wish the church was open, I would go in. People now miss the opportunity to go in front of the Blessed Sacrament. But when churches are all over the place, sometimes we take it for granted. But now that there isn't there, prayer requests are flowing in. Please, Father, pray for me. Please remember. I say, but I was in your parish. You are not even coming for masses. So hopefully the church will come out of this more healthier. Maybe another way, and I'm thinking about Kenya here. One way the church in Kenya can come out healthier out of this COVID-19 is in the sense of preparedness. I think in Kenya, the church has followed the government instead of maybe working with the government or even letting the government follow the church. So the church has not taken like the lead, was not prepared for this eventuality. So it has been following, the government says this, so the church leaders also come out and say, we support the government. Right. Somehow the Christians have felt, maybe the government should have been saying, we follow what the bishops have said. So hopefully coming out of this, our church leaders will be maybe foresighted more, maybe proactive more, maybe put in some safety nets for such eventualities. Should this happen, what next? We don't need just to wait for the government bureaucracies to tell us what to do.
Yes, it's a very interesting time, and thanks, Father, for your very brief conversation today. I know you're still got your studies to do in Rome today. I've still got to get my porridge for breakfast. That's my it's my daily quarantine routine. Is I have a plate of porridge. I'm also growing a quarantine beard. You might have recognised.
Well, I saw that. And a few days ago, I saw your mom doing her exercising her talent. You say talents also come in because of this quarantine. People are now showing their talents and their gifts.
Well, I have to say, I mean, first of all, a big shout out to my mammy, because she wasn't particularly pleased I put that photograph online. But I've been very blessed because I'm living at home, obviously, and my mother's a very good cook. So we've been very much spoiled with good meals and cakes and things that have been cooked. So we're very lucky that we have a good mother.
Okay.
So.
Well, my greetings to Brian, to Father Jim, and to all the folks there, to Maggie and to Robert, and
Megan actually as well is doing a fantastic job. She's doing the live stream for us in Moss End, and she's still serving, respecting distances. So she's doing really well. Robert is doing the sacristan's job as well, so he's keeping things ticking over. But obviously that's the limit of people we can have in Holy Family in Moss End. Brian's doing the live stream for us with Father Grant up in Carfin. So I'll pass on your regards to all of them, and we hope that, obviously maybe not this year, but we hope that, in the next summer or the year after that, you can come back to Scotland, and we certainly enjoyed you being here.
I enjoyed too. It will be my pleasure. Thank you for the work you do. You have kept us informed. You have kept the Catholic faith going, especially during these days of quarantine. It was sad that at some stage you were down because of whatever issues with Facebook, but thank God you resolved it, and you continue to help the people, really.
Thank you.
Many people even in Africa follow you. I'm sure even when they will, when you will tag me these, some of my people follow me. One thing I've done during this quarantine, as I said, because you are indoors 6 weeks, you think, how best can I spend my 24 hours? I started a small YouTube channel in which I just give 5 minutes of reflections. I'm not advertising myself on your channel, but
absolutely. Listen, send us the link. We think your sermons are very good, and certainly recommend to all of our followers to listen to Father John's sermons. Send us a link, Father. We'll attach it to this post.
I will. So just that's how I've been spending I say, how can I spend my 24 hours? Let me just give a word of what I say can be a beginning of somebody's meditation. Not really a sermon, but how maybe you can begin a meditation. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And the reception has not been that bad, really.
Well, hopefully it'll be a bit more after this interview.
I hope so, John. I hope so. Very grateful.
Thanks very much, Father. So God bless, and keep praying for us all.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Thank you.